What's good, everybody? This is your boy Tony O, the host with the most over here at the AMFM podcast. And today I come to you with another fragrance review. Now, today's review is about oils versus sprays. For those of you who know me, you may or have checked out previous podcasts that I've posted. You probably know I'm a little more particular, or I lean more towards oils than sprays. And here's some of the reasons why. First off, one of the reasons that I like oils versus sprays a little bit more is because oils tend to last a hell of a lot longer. For those of you who have any experience with this, you probably know this to be true. For those of you who don't know this to be true, be my guest and check them out. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why you should check them out. Affordability. Oils are 80 to 90% cheaper than your sprays. Case in point, I like to use Baccarat Rouge as a point of reference because it's probably one of the hottest fragrances over the last year or two. You know what I'm saying? It's went viral. That's pretty much how I found out about it. But Baccarat Rouge, a regular, I want to say 75 ml bottle might run you about $250. You get you a good oil connect, and you could easily get a bottle of Baccarat Rouge for $15, $10, $20. You know what I'm saying? A hell of a lot cheaper. And for the most part, you're getting a very close clone. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you another example. As far as the oils lasting longer than the sprays, I think one of the reasons for that being is because even though sprays have different levels to them, I've explained that before too. There's like 5 different levels with some fragrances are maybe 2 to 3 different levels, but you have your EDPs, you have your EDTs, and you have your elixirs. Let's just use those 3. Now, but the difference between those 3 is basically the oil content in these fragrances. The EDPs normally range between 20 to 25%, and elixir may go as far as 30%. So if you can take that and compare that to an oil, which is 100% oil, then you know that the oil content is what gives a fragrance its longevity for the most part. So if you get an oils on the low end are probably going to last you 8 hours, 9 hours, maybe even 10. In some cases, they can last you 24, 36 hours if you don't wash yourself after the fact, you know what I'm saying? But if you wash it off, and I'll give you an example of that. But I've had this happen to me with sprays as well, where I will be trying out a fragrance, trying to do an assessment of it for the review. And I'll go downstairs and wash dishes or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'll notice that after I'm washing dishes, because I do dishes the old school way, you know, I just don't spray them off and throw them in the dishwasher. I put some soap in a pan or a pot or something like that, or a nice little bowl, and I'll wash them by hand before I put them in the dishwasher. And I've noticed that some of the fragrances that I've been wearing, whether they were sprays or oils, that even after I done had my hands submerged in this water, after it done got dirty, after I done had the Palmolive or whatever the dishwashing liquid is that I'm using, after I've had that on my hands and washed my hands off, I still smell the fragrance. So that's not a knock to either one. You know what I'm saying? That's actually kudos to both, that they could actually surpass or sustain through this. But that's just an example of how the oils could last you for such a long time. You know what I'm saying? Another one of the things that I like about oils versus sprays is that they're not so season specific. And what I mean by that is you have some fragrances, especially in the spray form, that are very more particular to a certain type of year. So they'll, if you look up on Fragrantica or even Fragrance Net, you might see a breakdown of when these fragrances are best performing at. You know what I'm saying? Whether they be in the fall, winter, spring, summer, whatever the case may be. Some of them have performance levels in all those different categories, but whichever one has the highest, that's typically where that fragrance is. You're going to get the best performance out of that fragrance. You don't have to worry about that with oils. You can put an oil on any time of year, any time of day, and you're pretty much going to get the same experience with it. And on the flip side, that's one of the things, depending on how you look at it, a pro or a con, is one of the things that I like about the oils in that context. But with the sprays, you tend to get a lot more of the complexity of the design of the fragrance. So when you have these people who, perfumers, or what they call in the perfume industry, the noses behind these fragrances, they design these fragrances to perform a certain type of way. So you'll use a spray and you'll spray it on, and you'll have a top note, you'll smell that. You'll have a middle note, you'll smell that. You'll have a bottom note, you'll smell that in a spray. With the oil, you pretty much get either what that top note is. If it's top note heavy, you're going to get that top note throughout the entire use of that oil, which makes it a very linear fragrance, when some fragrances aren't meant to be linear. You know what I mean? So again, I'll go to Baccarat Rouge. When you get to Baccarat Rouge, is pretty much one of those linear fragrances as well. What you get in the opening is what you get for the duration of the time that you're wearing that, and that goes almost 100% of the time when it comes to oils. So that's one of the pluses to me. Or it could be a con to somebody else who might like the complexity of a fragrance. You know, they might like the top note, they might like the middle note, they might like the fact that it goes through these phases. You know what I'm saying? I had one person, quick side note, a young lady that I work with who I tried a fragrance out on, and it literally went through all the notes with her, and she didn't even know that colognes or perfumes performed in that way until I told her about it. She was like, I didn't know that colognes did that. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, that's something that I'm really experiencing with you with this one particular fragrance. And I'll talk about that on another note. That's another podcast entirely. But yeah, those are just some of the things that are the pros and the cons when it comes to oils and colognes or perfumes or whatever. So if any of this information was beneficial to you, go ahead and drop something in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You know what I'm saying? And drop something in the comments and let me know what you think about this information that I'm giving to you. Let me know if you are particular to oils or sprays yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to see what some of the people out there are really rocking with. You know what I'm saying? And if you're looking for a good oil, I'll drop a link in the description to my folks over at Scent Culture, you know what I'm saying, who have a great variety of different oils as well as sprays that they have in their arsenal. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can check them out. Very affordable, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, outside of that, I guess I'll catch y'all on the flip side, you know what I'm saying? And until next time, peace out.